Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Zelfa Barrett gets a unanimous decision victory over Kiko Martinez. First and foremost, I have to say, I personally felt this decision was a bit of a gift for Zelfa Barrett. I think the best case for Zelfa Barrett, in my opinion, was a draw, but a win. And especially the cards in which he was given the win, two cards 118, 111, and the other card was 116, 113. I mean, those cards, as far as I'm concerned, are way too wide, especially the 118, 111 times 2. That's an absolute joke. Absolute joke. How anybody could watch that fight and score that 118, 111 to Zelfa Barrett is an absolute disgrace, and they should not be working in boxing. I understand seeing a fight ringside is different from seeing it on TV. I totally get that, but still, there should not be that discrepancy in these scorecards to what actually transpired in the ring. Absolute joke. Once again in the UK, one of the worst locations in the world for judging right now and officiating. Absolute joke. If you're a foreign fighter coming to the UK, you've got to nail your guy to that fucking canvas to get a win, basically. But yeah, I mean, you know, bad judging aside, I actually really enjoyed the fight, you know, and that basically put a dampener on this fight for me. But the fight itself was really fun. You know, first round was kind of circumspect. Zelfa Barrett kind of trying to probe with the jab, keep distance. And, you know, Kiko was taking a look, trying to apply some steady pressure and whatnot. But yeah, first round was circumspect. I probably felt Zelfa Barrett won that round. But after the first round, I felt Kiko Martinez was in control throughout the most part of this fight. You know, basically round 2 to round 9, Kiko Martinez was in control. There were a couple of competitive rounds in which you could have scored to Zelfa Barrett, like round 4 for example, and I believe round 6. But they were super close rounds. The best case scenario for Zelfa Barrett in this fight is a draw, in my opinion. But yeah, after the first round, Kiko Martinez got into his usual style, which we're used to seeing, applying that relentless pressure, coming in low, working the body, landing the overhand right, and really kind of pushing Zelfa back, forcing him on the ropes, and landing some damaging punches. He actually kind of buzzed Zelfa Barrett in the second round, and he was the guy forcing the pace. He was the guy with the greater output. He was the guy who was landing the more effective shots. Kiko Martinez coming forwards, particularly in the first 8-9 rounds, was actually displaying pretty good defense, making Zelfa Barrett miss his hooks wildly at times. You know, Zelfa was landing a few flashy shots here and there in these rounds, but it wasn't enough to offset what Kiko Martinez was doing. You know, this was his fight. He was the guy who was, you know, dictating where this fight went kind of thing. He was the guy who looked in control throughout the majority of the rounds. And yeah, like basically round 2 to round 9, I felt Kiko Martinez won basically the vast majority of these rounds. The only real exceptions, in my opinion, could be round 4 and could be round 6, but you can easily score those rounds to Kiko Martinez as well. To Zelfa Barrett's credit, he actually finished this fight quite strongly. He finished the last 3 rounds really well. I think he realised that he was in trouble of losing this fight if judging was accurate. And, you know, he actually made some adjustments and had a bit more success. Throughout this fight, he was basically backpedaling, trying to maintain range and pick Kiko Martinez off. And in the first 9 rounds, he really wasn't doing a good job of doing that because he was kind of punching on the move. He wasn't really setting his feet when he punched, and he never really gave Kiko anything to think about. But in the last 3 rounds, yeah, he was still moving and keeping range, but he was holding his feet when he had to, and letting go of some real good combination punches, which were finding the target on Kiko Martinez. So Zelfa Barrett finished this fight quite well, actually, in the last 3 rounds, you know, and that's to his credit. But to me, you know, he certainly did not do enough to win this fight. I can't see how anybody could see him winning that, to be honest. Where do you get 7 rounds from for Zelfa Barrett in that fight? I can understand 4 rounds, 5 rounds, at a push 6 rounds, if you give him the benefit of the doubt. But that's really it. The best case for Zelfa Barrett in this fight, as far as I'm concerned, was a draw. But for him to win this fight, especially in the margins in which he did, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. What more did Kiko Martinez have to do to get any credit on the scorecards, let alone win this fight? I really feel for Kiko Martinez. You know, I think he's had now like 54 fights, been around a long time, 34 years old, former world champion, two-weight European champion. This guy's fought everybody. Scott Quigg, Carl Frampton twice, Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell Jr., Jonathan Romero, Rendell Monroe, Hozumi Hasegawa. This guy's fought everybody. Like, he's fought in Japan, England, Ireland, America. This guy's been a road warrior, and he's done so much in boxing, you know, gave his heart, his soul, and everything to boxing, and this is how this guy gets treated. Absolutely disgraceful. Obviously, that's not a reflection on Zelfa Barrett. He did his thing, but ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't enough. And Zelfa Barrett going forwards, from what I saw tonight, he's going to come unstuck very soon, because let's be honest, Kiko Martinez, tough guy, being a credit to the sport, but 34 years old, a natural super bantamweight. You know, he gave Zelfa all of that trouble, and you know, Zelfa going forwards needs to improve on so much, otherwise he's going to get found out real soon. But yeah, I feel sorry for Kiko Martinez. You know, this scenario is way too familiar in the UK right now. We have no right pointing the finger at any other country right now in terms of judging, officiating, etc. It's becoming far too regular, and I'm getting sick of it, quite frankly. I really am. But there we go. Share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.